Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on how Solstice Sunglasses is empowering sales associates with customer insights. I'm Maddie Burris, and I'm one of Custora's marketing managers, and I'm very excited to be here today with Amanda Sitzer, who is an e-commerce manager at Solstice, who journeyed all the way here through the freezing snow, which I think is more like sleet right now, to be with us today. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you.
There's just some very nice pictures of us. So just a bit of housekeeping before we get started. So these webinars are part of our efforts to bring together a community of e-commerce marketers, and we try to make them as much as possible about you guys. So we'd love to hear from you during the session. We'd love to hear from you, so please chat your questions into the GoToWebinar chat, and we'll get to them at the end. If we don't get to one of your questions, don't worry, we will follow up via email afterwards. Also, we will share the deck and the recording afterwards. If I don't get to that by this afternoon, you'll definitely have them by tomorrow. We also send out a really quick survey afterwards that's really helpful if you guys fill out, generally asking how you like the webinar and what are some topics you'd like to hear from us on. So Amanda and I will chat for around 30 minutes. Then we will leave some time for questions at the end. And also do please stick around because Amanda was kind enough to grace us with a discount code, which is a really nice 25% discount. I'm excited. I will definitely be using that at the end of the webinar, so do stick around. Just to get into the agenda a bit. So we're first going to start out talking a little bit about Custora, the shameless plug that we always do for ourselves, although this webinar is not about us. We're going to talk briefly about Solstice as a company. Then we're going to get into the real meat of the conversation today, which is what you're all here for, about clienteling at Solstice. Then we're going to talk about personalization that the e-commerce team at Solstice is doing more generally. And then we will get into Q&A. So once again, really happy to have everyone on today. And I think before we get started, first I'm going to talk about Custora, and then we're going to launch into a poll. So Custora, for those of you who don't know, is a customer intelligence platform for retail marketers. So what that means is we basically aggregate all of your customer data. We run predictive insights on it and generate really interesting insights on customer lifetime value, churn predictions, affinities, customer personas, and then we push these predictive insights into your marketing channel tools so that you have this single view of the customer and these insights across all of the execution tools in your stack, from email to direct mail to in-store, really everything. So that's a bit about us. We work with some really awesome brands other than Solstice. You can see here, we work with Tiffany & Co. We work with Ken & Cole, Tarte, Splendid, among a ton of others. So that's a bit about us. And now, before we get started, I just want to start with a quick poll. So I'm going to launch this poll now for you guys and just give you a couple of minutes to answer it. So the question is, my company currently does clienteling or in some type of in-store personalization. And the options are simply true, false, we're working on it, or other. So I see a lot of you guys are voting. Thank you. Just give it a few more seconds. And the results are pretty interesting. And I'll definitely get you to comment on these, Amanda.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. All right, I'm going to close the poll and share these results. All right, so it's pretty split. I'm happy to see that a good 25% of you guys are working on it, and happy to see 25% are actually already doing this. But hopefully today you'll learn a little bit more, and those who aren't doing it will have some great tips and get some ideas. All right, just gonna get the slides back up. Awesome. Okay, cool. So Amanda, I have done enough talking. I'm going to kick it over to you. So I just have a few facts up here. Although, guys, this is mostly podcast style, so if you can't have the slides open and you're multitasking, as I'm sure most people are, don't worry about it. But I wanted Amanda to tell us a little bit about Solstice. I'm guessing most people have heard of the brand. Mm-hmm. There are, 80 stores nationwide?
We have 80 stores nationwide with over 50 brands. in our stores. We are a brand that carries other brands, so it's a bit of a struggle sometimes for us for that, which is one of the reasons Custora is so amazing for us. But yeah, so we have 80 stores nationwide. We like to focus on what we call the smile of the country. So that is the two coasts and then the South. With our biggest, yeah, so it's a smile. And our biggest concentration is California, Texas, Florida, and New York. Yeah, and then we're omni-channel. We have, like I said, 80 stores nationwide, and then a e-commerce business, which was recently replatformed. And yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Cool. I'm guessing you were a big part of the replatforming, being on the e-commerce team.
Yes, we replatformed. We replatformed twice, and yeah, it was a big project, but our results are pretty strong. Our site experience is amazing now. We went live, like I told you earlier, we went live with Holiday today. And yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Awesome. I'm guessing this is true because it is for most brands, but is Holiday one of the biggest times for you guys?
Holiday is one of our biggest times. We are a specialty retailer. We only sell eyewear and more specifically sunglasses. So we actually have Christmas in July, as we like to say, where it's across the country. It's hot, it's sunny, everyone needs their glasses, and people are traveling or doing outdoor activities, whatever it may be. So while Holiday is huge for us, the summer months, which are sometimes slow for other retailers, are actually pretty big for us as well.
Cool. And I know we're not really here to talk about this, but I'm interested because you said the smile of the country. Are there certain states where there are like certain insights, you might have gotten these from Custora even, where like certain brands are bigger in like...
Yeah, totally. So we actually did use Custora for this. We did a survey, which Maria helped us pull the insights on, where we surveyed our customers in California, Texas, Florida, and New York. And in California, one of our stores in a very high-end mall has like a 70% penetration of luxury, where so it's the majority of their sales are coming out of really high-end expensive brands, where somewhere in Florida where there's like a lot of outdoor sports happening, we see a higher penetration of like our sport brands, our outdoor brands, which are great for like golfing, fishing, driving, whatever it may be. So there's definitely depending on where you are, the needs are different. We also have it's not quite 50-50, but we do have outlets versus full price stores, and that also has a bit of a different customer base. And then in New York, we get tourists, but we also get people who live here. And obviously New York is the fashion capital, maybe of the world, definitely of the States. So we definitely have like a high penetration of luxury and like less of sport in New York.
Awesome. Yeah. And tell me, so you're on the e-commerce team. So how does e-commerce play into purchasing sunglasses? I would think with a category like sunglasses, it's definitely something you want to try on before you buy it. I know generally that's the case with me.
Yes.
I think I love something until I try it on and it does not look ideal. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, our e-commerce business is growing like year over year, month over month. It's really exciting, but it is something that often you have to physically hold to understand its worth, because often you're like, this is so expensive, why? And then you feel it in your hand and you put on your face and you get it. Like the quality of the frames are amazing, and like you can really see the craftsmanship, or if you put them on, you can see how amazing the lenses are. So we fully understand that it is something that you need to go into the stores to do, and the stores are so amazingly trained on how to handle the glass and how to fit your face and tell you what, based on what your like face shape is or what your specific needs are, whether, like I said, it's sport or like a fashion piece, they'll steer you in the right direction of what you should buy. But online, we often have, we get a lot of our traffic on mobile. So we know a lot of people are actually doing research, and then going into the store and showing their phone and saying, here, like, this is what I want, show it to me. So yes, a lot of our traffic is mobile. Yes, a lot of our traffic is actually driving to our stores, but we're omni-channel. one team, one dream.
Yep.
We all help each other out. And then also often we know people have really high brand loyalty. So if they already know the brand and the style they like, they're just buying a new pair. Or people are looking for a specific style, specific trend, something that's hot right now, that it's about having the fashion piece, and that they know what they want, and they check out relatively quickly because they know what they want.
Yeah. And have you guys done any research into the overlap between online and brick and mortar customers? Do you see a lot of people checking it out online and then coming into the store?
We are currently trying to track how many people are actually researching online and then coming to stores. We do have like Google local inventory. We're working on, so if someone's searching, they can find the product near them. We're working on find it in store on the site, which will be hopefully up in time for holiday. So people can then call the store and reserve it. Eventually, obviously, it would be buy online, pick up in store, or reserve it in the store. And we are trying to track how many people are visiting the site and then going to the store. It's like a little tricky, obviously.
It's not easy.
It's not an easy task. Google definitely makes it a little harder. They don't provide a ton of insights, but it's Google's world and we're living in it.
That is definitely true.
Yes. So we are trying to connect those dots. And then we do know from actually Custora that our customers who shop online and in store, and they're omni-channel shoppers, are our most valuable customers. They spend more often. And they're more loyal.
Awesome. Before we get into clienteling, that's an interesting point. And so you discovered that these omnichannel customers are more loyal, have a higher CLV. What are you guys doing with that information?
We are actually, again, with the help of Custora, building out our loyalty program. So we're building out our loyalty program. It is not live yet. It will be live probably in January, where we are inviting high spending customers to join ahead of time. In theory, that's the plan. Let's see if it works. Hoping that there's incentive to keep them high spenders and keep them loyal and keep them happy. So we are doing that. And then,
that's cool. It reminds me, one of our customers, Eloquii, which is a fast fashion brand, just got purchased by Walmart. Actually, they do something really cool similar to that, where with their VIPs, they send them an early access email for things, and then so that those VIPs know that they're actually getting early access, because I think a lot of times people think, oh, early access, but you're saying that to everyone. They then get that email again when it goes out to the full population, so they know, oh, like I actually did get this email early, like you feel a little bit special.
Yeah, and we've done online, at least our database right now for our email marketing channel is very much e-commerce shoppers. Obviously, there is some overlap, but they're strongly e-commerce shoppers. And we've done some testing like that where we offer them coupon codes that are actually at a higher threshold. And if you do some digging on the site, you'll see that it is not available anywhere else. Like you only get that code for a better discount because you are special to us and you are like either a high value shopper or you open our emails regularly, or you're on our list, or you've been on our list, or you purchase more often. So we are starting to roll out and test different perks.
Awesome. And before Custora, were you guys doing this? Were you looking at high value shoppers?
No, not really. No.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we allowed you to do that. So now we'll get into a bit about your clienteling efforts.
Sure.
So up on the screen, if you guys take a look, I actually do have a piece of creative that Amanda sent over. So tell us a little bit about this. What are you guys doing in the clienteling realm?
Sure. So we have a huge initiative right now to make shopping in our store an event. We know that a few things we know about sunglasses. One, it could be an impulse buy. Because it could be an impulse buy because we are a luxury retailer, and it allows a customer to who is often aspiring to be a luxury shopper to have their foot in the door to a luxury brand. So maybe they can't afford a several $1,000 handbag. However, they can afford a few $100s on a pair of sunglasses and still have a piece of that luxury label that they want a piece of. So we do know that about our customer. And then for these events, we want people to come in and have more fun with it and really be excited about it, and have it be like that these aren't just, something you toss in your bag. These are a high value item that we're really like excited to provide to you and share with you. So we invite people into our stores. Back in the day before Custora, the stores literally had little black books. And then also if someone no longer worked in the store, a lot of that data was lost because it was their
Wow,
books.
they would take their lists with them.
It's their book. And I think that that's a very old school retail way. So they would literally have like names and addresses written down, which like seems like the way my grandma would shop in like the 70s or something. Like, I don't know. So now we went through this for a while. For this event, actually, I was the one orchestrating it because it was pretty early on in our Custora days. But we are able to go in there and find shoppers that are shopping at our Louisiana store.
Oh, I'm from Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Is it in New Orleans?
This one was not. This was in Baton Rouge, but we do have a store in New Orleans, and we do carry Crew, which is the coolest brand to come out of New Orleans.
I was going to ask you that, and I actually didn't earlier, so I'll ask you this now.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Talk about this at the end.
I can talk about that a lot. But so we're able to go into the store, pull our New Orleans shoppers, people who have shopped, let's say, in the past year, so they're still active. Take that list, pass it to our email service provider, and then blast out this email welcoming people into our stores. And obviously for a lot of our events, I do this with Panthita, our e-commerce assistant, and Monica, our director of e-commerce, but we do all of this work in corporate, and then the stores in the field didn't always have a ton of access. So we trained our our district managers and our regional managers to be able to go into Custora, and if they're having this event, maybe they have like better access to people, whatever it may be, they can download that list, and they have phone numbers and email addresses and whatever it is, and they can contact their high value customers, be like, hey, we have this great event happening, you should come stop by. Or if I believe this one was because Crew launched. And it is very local to Louisiana, obviously. So we can even pull people who shopped other, quote, millennial brands in that same price point, whatever it may be, and invite them and let them know about this really cool event we have, or new arrivals we have coming in, or really make it like a one-on-one experience.
That's awesome. So are you guys, are you pulling the list for your sales associates, telling them like you should pull?
Anymore.
They're doing it themselves?
The sales associates are not. It's the district managers. So I think there's eight district managers and 2 regionals. So the regionals cover the East and the West, and then below them are the district managers, like the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, California, Northwest, Hawaii, Midwest, whatever.
There's a lot.
There's like 8 or 9 of them. And then, so they are all trained, and they pull the list. They pull the list, and then they pass it, they download it, they export it from Custora. And we are trying to come up with like a naming mechanism so everyone can find their list easily, whether it's like your initials, the store you're looking at, and the brand and the date you pulled it, something. So it keeps it somewhat organized, because we do have a ton of users in there. We have like over 12 users in our Custora account. And then they download that list, and then they share it with the local store manager. And then the store manager they can call the people that they want to call, or they can send out an email, or they can pass it to their store associates, and they can kind of divide and conquer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what kind of insights are they generally pulling? Is it all around affinities for certain brands plus predicted high value?
So I pull that. They were trained in like August, September, so they're still kind of in their learning curve, but they are pulling, it kind of depends on the event. So we do trunk shows where a partner brand might come in, like Maui Jim is a great example. Maui Jim comes in and they'll bring a larger assortment than we regularly have. So we could go into that store's database and pull everyone who has shopped Maui Jim in the past year, let's say, because this is a Maui gym-based event. But if it's Fashion Week and we get a whole new delivery, let's say in our New York stores, of all the luxury brands, maybe we're not pulling a specific brand, we'll pull people who either have the luxury affinity or that they have a high average spend. So we know that they like more expensive products, and then invite them into the store for like a shopping night or whatever it may be.
That's really cool. And are you guys ever using the predictive insights? Like, would you say has ever purchased Maui Gym and is likely to purchase Maui Gym because maybe they've purchased a similar brand? Or for now, are you using mostly historical?
Right now, we're using mostly historical. We are using predictive a lot in our promotions. We know that people who shop, excuse me, we know people who shop our sport brands like Maui Gym, like Oakley, whatever it may be, also like accessories. So we help
like
them, croquis, and like cleaning kits, and things like that. So it helped us build out, like, buy this brand of sunglasses, get a free cleaning kit as like a incentive, because they're likely to buy it anyway if they buy it together. So let's give it to them for free, which is low margin on us, to incentivize that purchase and convert the sale.
Cool. And tell me about some of the challenges in getting something like this up and running with the district managers. This seems like a lot. Like, how did you actually go about this? Did you actually have a training in person where everyone came? Was it more individually?
We did it 3 times. So I was trained, and then I worked with our ops team, who's also in the field, and we did a webinar with Maria. And they all dialed in.
Maria is our customer success manager here at Custora, for those of you who don't know.
She's a rock star. So we all dialed in. We had a webinar, and it was a formal training. It was a formal training where Maria walked them through the tool. We only really showed them the parts that are important to them, which is pulling lists right now and creating segments. We walked them through the tool. We gave them like 7 to 10 days, or maybe even 2 weeks, to have total access to it, to play around, to feel it out. And then we had a follow-up with like a Q&A, basically, like, hey, you've had 2 weeks to work on this. Like, what are your challenges? What do you like? What do you dislike? Do you have any questions? How can we make this better for you? What's something like on your wish list? Whatever it may be. And we were able to have so the first one was like a formal training where Maria led and I was there to support. And then the second one was more of an open forum. And then about 2 weeks ago, Maria came and did an in-person meeting with me in Secaucus, where our North America headquarters are. And all the district managers were actually in one room. And we did like a little refresher. And I think it was really great for them to like put a face to the name and to the voice, and really and meet Maria. And really, like, we had like a working session. We worked out any bugs people were having, solved any problems in real time. If they were having like an issue with one specific thing, they were able to solve it. And it was also a really great resource. We have one DM who has been using it quite a bit, and she's like been a rock star. And she was kind of able to tell her fellow DMs, like, hey, I did this. It was really great. It worked really well. We were able to call like X amount of people, and we had this percentage of people come into the store and purchase, or whatever it may be. And it was really great to hear like anecdotes from her. And I know that was exciting for Maria as well. And I know that I don't think any other Custora client has done this yet.
I have not heard of it.
No, I think we're the first ones. So I think it's really exciting to actually give the field the tools they need to succeed, and really like give them the power to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of our customer-centric mission.
Yes.
Really like embedding these customer insights in every team, not just the e-commerce or marketing team, but making them accessible to everyone. So obviously we think it's really awesome that you guys are doing this. So let's talk a little bit about some other initiatives you guys have, other things that you are personalizing. So I have some creative here, that's some churn prevention creative you guys use. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing with email personalization.
Cool. So first of all, this is our like original content. This is Solstice branded content, because we are a brand that sells other brands. We make it our mission to also have images and verbiage and copy and whatever it may be that is very much ours and doesn't get confused with any of the brands we carry. So we've been doing that for about 2 years, I guess, but the past year or maybe like 15 months, it's been like really, really, really strong messaging and really branding Solstice. And we've been putting ourselves out there in so many other ways that it's super exciting. So just on that. But for the churn prevention, we did a test with Maria. And
Maria's getting so many shout outs. I have to tell her she should be listening right now.
I know. She'll listen to the playback. But we did a test where we took people likely to churn out of the e-commerce file. And we sent them this offer. We were able to reactivate over 2,000 customers into our active file, which is pretty exciting. We offer a pretty generous discount, obviously. And it works.
Yeah, I see you have one here.
So this
21. Was it an escalating offer series?
No. So actually, the Hurry Your Offer Ends Soon was for new customers that just joined our file. That you get a 20% off when you join. And this was like their thank you for signing up. And then the other one, the We Miss You, was our reactivation. So and we use the same creative, and obviously they're two totally different customers, but we use the same creative and similar messaging, just different offers to kind of test out what offer is stronger. And it is not a perfectly clean test just because the 20% off is for people new to our file, and then the 25% off is for people in our file who need to, wake up a little bit and reactivate.
And was this people, when you say reactivate, were these customers that Custora deemed completely lost, or were these people just starting to fade off of their purchase cadence?
They were people who were about to churn. Okay. So they were on their way to falling out of their cadence. And we wanted to bring them back into the cycle and not lose them as customers.
That's awesome. And for the listeners out there, one really cool thing that Custora does is instead of just setting up business rules, say it's been 180 days, send everyone a We Miss You email. Custora tracks each customer's unique purchase cadence, whereas I might purchase sunglasses once a year. Amanda might buy sunglasses like once a month. And so
I might buy sunglasses.
And I'm like, you probably do. So Amanda might get a churn prevention email much sooner than I would, because if it's been a year, I'm still on my normal purchase cadence. I don't need a discount to purchase again. I probably will purchase again in a year. So I'm really glad to hear that you guys are using that and seeing success. And I hope you continue building it out, testing different offers, testing different discount levels.
For us, it's also like strategic timing when we send those emails, because we have a lot of promos happening that we have to send it when there's not another promo happening, so they know they're getting something special.
For sure. And are you guys, this is something that we hear as a challenge for a lot of retailers that we work with. Just promotionality has become more and more rampant. It's there's a lot of competition, especially during the holidays, to keep up. Retailers feel like it's really important to send promotions, but also don't want to hurt their bottom line. How do you guys think about promotions?
We have a pretty strong promo cadence. Like I said, we have a lot of promos happening. We often play with the percentages. Online, I can speak to online quite well. Percentage off works significantly better than a dollar off for us, but sometimes in the stores it's the opposite because it's quick math. Like, oh, saving $25, great. We're 25%. You're like, oh, like carry the one, whatever it may be. So we do have a pretty strict-ish cadence. Like sometimes, start a day early, extend the day here. But we are quite promotional. We, starting holiday last year, introduced gift with purchase as a promo for us, which actually has less of an effect on our margin, but drives average order value up a bit. And it's been really successful for us. And we're anniversarying that. And we have our third gift with purchase launched today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe I will check it out. If I use my discount code, will I get something?
Yes, you will.
Yes. Already thinking about this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to share some other creative that you shared with us. So these are some holiday creatives.
Yes. So for the first one is our animation. It actually didn't deploy yet, so sneak peek. The static version is on the homepage now, but we have tested animation, and we get really, really great click-through rates in emails when we have animation. And it's just like fun and playful, and then we can also share it on social, and it gets really great interaction. And yeah, keeping it light. And then the other one is our gift with purchase. During different times of the year, we have different thresholds for the gift with purchase. It is $200 right now. Yeah, $200 right now to keep our AOV high and strong. When we lower that, we do see our AOV drop, which makes perfect sense. But it has been a really great player for us in our promo cadence. And we also, when we're kind of off of a regular promo and everything's full price, having a gift with purchase is a great little extra something to get people to convert. And we find it works really, really well online. So often we have the GWP online only.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It works better for us online than it does in some of the stores, kind of like off season. So for us, it's like a great way to boost our whatever we're trying to boost, whether it's click-through rate in an email by putting the promo in, or average order value by putting it with a threshold, or just order volume and putting it with no threshold.
Yep. Yeah. That brings me to my next question, which besides AOV, which you've talked about a lot, what are the key KPIs that you're generally looking at?
Traffic.
Yep.
We're all about traffic, but driving traffic online and in stores. We're looking at average order value, obviously. We're looking at conversion rate, both online and in store. We're looking, what else are we looking at? Order volume is always a big one. I mean, I can show you my KPI sheet that I have. I have it prepared for you. But yeah, so we're looking at demand, we're looking at ship sales, we're looking at returns, order volume, traffic, conversion, average order value, bounce rate in this, like online, obviously not in store. And then yeah,
so just a few metrics.
But our big one is traffic and conversion.
I was hoping you would say customer lifetime value.
I'm sorry. Maybe next year when I have a full year of Custora data under my belt.
Exactly. Yeah. Waiting for that. So let's talk about on-site a bit. You were telling me today that Holiday just launched.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about what you guys are testing on-site.
On-site. Okay. So what are we testing? A few different things we've tried out is just like animation on site, which is just kind of fun. So we've done that, and I think it just adds like a bit of excitement to the page. Two tests we have running right now are value adds on the PDP. So there are these little icons on the product detail page where it says like free 2-day shipping or guaranteed for I guess there's a year warranty and 100-day return window, 120-day return window. So we're testing that by seeing if those little value adds help convert. We're testing button colors. We're testing a red versus a black add to cart button. We've tested checkout flows. We've tested some of our products have multiple views and some don't. So that's always interesting to see if the ones with multiple views perform better than the ones with only single view. Yeah, we've tested layouts. We have
done it all.
We've done a lot of testing.
And any interesting insights?
A lot of them are still in infancy, and they're not we've only launched the value adds in the PDP. We've launched the PDP testing only a week or so ago, so there's not statistical significance yet. But I do think as a shopper and as someone who's worked in e-commerce for a long time, I think that those little things, like anything you could put on the PDP to help convert, is amazing and super helpful. And it almost seems like sometimes silly to test. Like, why wouldn't you have these value adds, or why wouldn't you have multiple views, or just as much like as much information on the page as possible to help that customer make their decision faster.
For sure. Awesome. So I'm just going to show a few more creatives that you've shared. I think this animation is really nice.
Yeah. So for the styles you love under 200, we were seeing a spike in one of our brands with a lower price point. So we're like, it's Key Australia. The purpose of Key, their average ticket is about like $60 to $90. So their goal is not for you to have one really expensive pair of sunglasses, but rather a collection that you change the way you would change your like any other accessory. So one for every outfit. So we saw that was performing quite well. And some of our other brands weren't in like a slower time. September, October is a bit slower for us. We're like, maybe we can drive, instead of drive AOV, let's drive order volume. So we curated this category. So it was everything at a little bit of a lower price point, and also geared towards millennials.
I know I've heard you mention millennials a couple of times. Yeah. I'm like, we got to talk about millennials.
We can talk about millennials. And we've brought on some other brands that have slightly lower price point. One of our house brands, Polaroid, is also in this price bucket, so that's pretty exciting to be able to highlight them. And then for National Sunglass Day, it's our holiday.
Did you guys invent that?
No.
Okay.
I wish, but I do have some metrics.
Big for you, obviously.
I do have some metrics on National Sunglass Day. Hold on. So National Sunglass Day was right after summer solstice, which is like our kickoff to summer. And our biggest promo of the year is during summer solstice. But National Sunglass Day was our #1 day in order volume online, and our #3 day in demand online, and our #3 day in traffic this year. So it's a pretty big deal for us. And we were able to open that email up to like everyone who shopped in the past year. It's a total blowout in online, in store. It's our day. So we make the best of it. And like I said, the animations do really well for us.
Awesome. So getting back to millennials a bit,
yes,
we hear from a lot of retailers that one of their top customer goals is increasing millennial spend and loyalty. Is that a goal for you guys?
Yes. So we want to capture them now because if they might be shopping. So we've just introduced Rebecca Minkoff as a new brand, which is a millennial brand. Everything I think is under $150, which is pretty exciting. Some of the styles are even under $100, but still like very fashion looking. Like I said, we have Key, which is a lower price point, and we have Crew, which is not really a lower price point, but very young and cool.
Yep.
We have Rag and Bone, which is very like downtown
New York.
Yeah, like hip,
Yep.
Which is the millennial customer. So we're definitely trying to capture them now. So then when they do grow up into more luxury or specialty or whatever they need, they already know and love and trust us.
Awesome. And are you guys using any segmentation for this? Are you doing any email segmentation based on millennials and what brands you think millennials are likely to purchase?
I would love to do that. We don't have a ton of birthdays, but that's one of, like I said, we're rolling out our VIP program and our loyalty program. So that is something that we're looking to capture. And then we can segment. We do segment like men versus women. We do segment. We use Custora data. We use Custora data to build out our lookalike audiences on Facebook or retargeting audiences. So,
cool.
So if we're able to pull, let's say you pull everyone who shops these millennial brands, then you create a lookalike on Facebook, you are likely to get other potential millennials.
Yep. And what platforms are you guys doing that on? Is it just Facebook? Are you doing Google, which
we're on Facebook, we're on Google, we're on AdRoll. We are starting our LiveRamp test.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we have a lot of different platforms that we can retarget our existing customers, but then also use our existing customers to create a lookalike audience.
Cool. And have you guys seen different results in starting to use the Custora Insights plus lookalike modeling versus just what you were doing before?
Yes and no. So in general, our SEM campaigns are way stronger in 2018 than they've ever been. But And a layer of that is because we have all these great insights from Custora. We also have a great SEM consultant right now. We're working really closely with him. We have all our own personalized assets that are really strong to us, our own photography, whatever it may be. So I can't pinpoint one exact thing, but all these pieces layered together. Yes, it's working.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I want to start wrapping up so we can move into questions from the audience. I think I have, yes, this is the last slide with creative that you sent over to me.
Yeah, I can talk about this really quickly. This is actually, these are two NASCAR events where we had pop-up shops, and we know based on the customer there what brands to bring. So it's mostly sport brands, and then
I thought it'd be Gucci, but
I mean there are some mid-priced. I mean, I don't want to sound sexist, but it's a lot of men buying sport brands like Oakley, Smith, Maui Jim, whatever it may be, and then other brands like Kate Spade for their wives. So there is a healthy mix there, and we are able to pull our customers in the local areas that these are happening from Custora, and then target them pretty specifically. The stores are able to call their like high value customers if they want to, but these were actually two email creatives that went out to people in the local area, but we are able to segment it to customers we know that like those brands. If they like those brands, there's a higher chance that they're going to like NASCAR.
Love it.
Short story.
All right, so we're going to move into audience questions now. And now you get this amazing discount. So Amanda has kindly set up a 25% discount with the code Custora25, and brand exclusions do apply. I don't know what those are, but
I can read them off to you, but you can also read about them online.
Cool.
Yeah.
So questions. Let me see which questions have been coming in. All right, so we have one. How do you execute a premium in-store event to cater to these customers who want to get their foot in the door with these luxury brands?
So they want to get their foot in the door. So I would say that we mostly target to people who already shop these luxury brands, but that's not to say that we couldn't open up the spectrum, I guess. We do have brands that we call like entry luxe. So I guess in theory, you can capture the entry luxe customer. It's a slightly lower price point, and like really build that relationship while they're still an entry luxe shopper. And then as they grow, they'll grow into the luxury demo.
And what kinds of things do you guys generally do at the events? Like, are these evening events?
They can be any time of day. Here in Soho, we had like an ice cream social in the middle of the summer where we brought in Van Leeuwen's, a local ice cream shop.
Delicious.
And we just like invited people to come in, and it's like, hey, like we're giving out ice cream, come check it out. It's hot outside. You know, we have cold ice cream. So that was just like on a Wednesday in the middle of the afternoon on like a busy July week, which was just like nice and fun. Sometimes they're on Saturdays, because the weekends are obviously high traffic times for the stores. We've had bloggers in the stores, which is like on a Thursday evening, because then for the girls who really love this blogger, that's their like evening activity on a Thursday night. We might have like cupcakes and maybe champagne or sparkling juice or whatever it may be, to invite them in. So it really depends on the event of what time of day or when it's happening.
And is every city independent in that they're doing their own events, or is there some type of coordination between everything?
There's not a ton. Every store is different. It is an initiative to have every store do a monthly event. Obviously, some of them fall pretty naturally. Like in New York, it's pretty easy to have a New York Fashion Week event. In LA, it's easy to have an event during like festival season. In Miami, there's Miami Swim Week. There's like Pride events happening. There's always something. And then sometimes it's just kind of, and then like I said, we have trunk shows, but also sometimes just, I don't want to say made up, but it's just, we need an event. We need to, build some excitement. So like, what can we do? And we just have a little party.
And you mentioned bloggers. Do you do a lot of influencer marketing?
We do.
I assume it's big with sunglasses.
It's big. I was actually at Karma when this happened. We we posted so we do seed product with influencers, and it's sometimes we see product that we're trying to push, and then because they're helping us, we also let them pick a product. So it's kind of, one for one.
Yep.
So something that we've been pushing quite hard is our Carrera Glory, which Carrera is our in-house brand. It's a really, really cool aviator. It's actually the featured style in our holiday art this year on the main hero. And we posted it, and it was our #1 traffic page for like a lot of October. And if we had enough inventory in it, we would have blown up. Like, it would have been amazing, and we just didn't know it was going to blow up like it did. So the influencers do have influence.
Yes.
And posting on Instagram can make your day, make your budget.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was like at Karma, like typing away at my team, being like, oh my God, like, did you see all this traffic we got to the Carrera Glory? Like I had to like get up and go sit at the bar, like stand at the bar, because I was like pacing.
That's a good problem to have.
It was pretty exciting. But yeah, so we do seed with influencers. We have a new Tom Ford style that's exclusive to us. It's called Luca. It was on our homepage until yesterday, where we seeded that with influencers, because if someone loves the glasses the influencer is wearing, we are the only place they can get it here in the States. So we do a lot with influencers, and it's been a really fun ride.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if we've got any other questions coming in. All right. Okay, so you touched on this earlier. You were talking about replatforming, talking about testing things on site, using Custora. What else is key to you guys in your marketing tech stack? You mentioned LiveRamp too.
Yeah, so our SEM has been huge for us, really honing in on the segments that work and the segments that don't, the brands, but like bidding on brands that work and bidding on brands that don't. I talked about the influencers. We've done some personalization on the site. On the homepage, there is like product recommendations based on what's trending, what's new. And then those are obviously based on like an algorithm, but it's like clicks, inventory, sales behind it, whatever it may be. And then on the PDP, there are also recommendations, and that is based on your user profile. So if you have a purchase history, it'll show you items similar to your most recent purchases. If you don't have a purchase history, it'll show you items of shoppers like you that do have purchases. We have that rolling out soon. We'll do personalization like that in email. So it'll either be items you previously browsed or items you might like based on your browse history. Or if we're doing a branded email, let's say it's a Dior email, we can feature like only Dior products in the bottom of it. So we have a bunch of personalization happening. We have a lot of stuff. We've rolled out texting with the help of Custora.
Wow.
We've rolled out
Tell me about that. That's interesting.
Text message marketing. We've been doing it for about a month now. We had like the fastest launch Attentive has ever had. Like, shout out Attentive. It was amazing. And we're seeing really great results. We got like probably like 50 captures a day. We're blasting it out. We're getting great click-through rates starting today. There's also signage in stores, text to join. So it's been pretty exciting. Trying to think of we have so much stuff going on.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, we are moving like fast and furious.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. The Custora is part of so many channels for you guys.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to do one more question, and that is back to email a bit.
Yeah.
How much email segmentation are you guys doing right now? And what do you hope to do?
We're not doing as much as I would hope.
And that is what everyone always says.
Yeah. So we definitely segment out like people. We're not trying to hit people who don't want our emails, right? So the most we'll send is for people who have opened in a year, maybe 18 months if we're really pushing it. So we're doing that. We do segment out based on location. So if like a new arrival hit only in New York stores or it's exclusive to New York, we'll segment out our New York shoppers. I'd love to get so nitty gritty to just be able to segment out like to specific stores or specific brands one day. Or we do, like I talked about earlier, we have like a promo that's it's 30% off if you spend $400 or more, which is a strong offer that I'd love to be able to like segment that out to either like high value shoppers who like we already know they're going to spend that much. So like, let's just give them one more thing to pull that trigger and help them convert, or maybe someone who's really close to being there and it's just like give them that reason to push them over the edge. But yeah, I would love to do even more segmentation and get a little more nitty gritty, but we're gotta walk before you run.
Yep, we always talk about that, the crawl, walk, run. You can't do
Yeah.
everything at once. So very last question, what are some of your goals for 2019?
Oh, wow. I have so many. I have so many. I want to update our checkout process. I want to get it to be less pages. We just launched Apple Pay actually yesterday.
Cool.
So like payment was a huge thing for us. So that's actually something we can check off the list. I want to do more on-site testing and more on-site personalization, more in-email personalization. I want better, like a more omni approach to in-store online. I have so many things, but I would also love for every day for the homepage to be as beautiful as it is right now, with all of our own art, and not sometimes when we have to feature our partner brands, it gets a little choppy. So I'd also love to tell like a real Solstice story every day.
Yeah, that's tough when you have so many brands.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff on the wish list. It just keeps building.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
We are very happy to have you here today. And thank you everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. Like I mentioned, we will follow up with the recording, and have a great rest of your day.